Miracle Down Under. This Australian member depended on cigarettes to cope with life and avoid reality. In Nicotine Anonymous, he learned a new way to live without nicotine. My name is Stephen, and I am a nicotine addict, powerless over my addiction, and free for today from any craving for nicotine or compulsion to smoke. It is a miracle. I obsessed about smoking for 15 years, whether I was in full-blown practice or struggling against it. I had never wanted to be a smoker. I considered it to be a smelly, health-damaging, financially unrewarding bad habit. I looked with disdain at those of my family and friends who claimed that they could not stop. I felt contempt, not pity, sure that it was a matter of will, that they simply didn't want enough to stop. Then I discovered the pleasure for myself. I had survived through to my late teens and was living with several other young guys. We were typical of our age, pimply adolescents, emotionally inarticulate, interested in football, parties, and girls. It was while watching a football match one evening with one of my mates that I became hooked. Our team was winning, and I was completely unable to find sufficient means to express my joy. I needed to share something that was deeper than I knew how to express, and in desperation I took one of his cigarettes. The hit was instantaneous and savage and somehow very satisfying. Every time I felt that need, a cigarette sufficed. The next day I bought my first packet. From then on, cigarettes filled my need for intimacy. As my dis-ease in life grew, so too did my dependence on cigarettes, my addiction to nicotine. They came to mean solace in times of grief, celebration in times of joy, companionship in times of loneliness. They came to mean relief from every kind of stress and avoidance of any feeling of discomfort. They were my disguise for my inability to cope. I did not have a problem with smoking until I wanted to stop. I couldn't. I have lost count of the times when my resolve to stop smoking was as full as just this packet of cigarettes. As the cigarettes grew fewer, my resolve diminished, collapsing completely as I smoked the last one and despairingly bought another packet, renewing my resolution for next time. I stole from friends, resurrected butts from ashtrays and bins, lied about my addiction, chiefly to myself, and continued to struggle, without ever really admitting that I had a problem. Cigarettes made isolation a tolerable reality. I came to the program in despair, truly at rock bottom. I was living in one small room with no money, no possessions, no friends, smoking compulsively and hating it. It was easy to look around a room full of people who knew how I felt and admit powerlessness. Strangely, I smoked my last cigarette that night. No more struggle. The obsession was removed. I didn't want to smoke. I felt no compulsion. I knew it was a miracle when after a week I remembered I had 6 full packets in my cupboard, and I hadn't thought of them. Being without cigarettes meant owning the reality that I had avoided for the most of my life. My withdrawal became obvious in my lack of emotional expression, my fear of intimacy, and absence of skills for conducting relationships. I had to accept that I was riddled with fears and insecurities and unable to share and be open. These were the things that smoking had denied. I had to be willing to let other people know about these things. In the steps and the meetings, I find strength to face and accept, let go. This process didn't happen. It is happening. In acknowledging and exploring that power greater than myself is revealed to my understanding, my dis-ease is reprieved. I forget, it returns. I have reminders in those around me, my regular meetings, in service to other members, in conscious contact with that power. It is sometimes an uncomfortable process. The miracle is I can go through it all without being struck by the compulsion to smoke. I have freedom just for now. The wisdom of the program is the freedom of the here and now. That is my security. I crave no other.